Let us now take a look at an algorithm where we are required to print all the odd numbers starting from 1 to n. So suppose let us say n is 11. So I need to print 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11. So first thing you need to make a decision is what are the variables or memory locations you require. You require one memory location called as I with the initial value 1. You require another memory location called as n, which the user is going to enter a value. It could be 11, 13, 101, 1 million, whatever it is. So let's take a look at the steps. In this algorithm, I'm also going to show you another repeat or iteration statement called as the while statement. Okay, let's see how the while works. First, I'm initializing the value of I to 1. That means I'm making I equal to 1. I have one part of the puzzle. I have the value of I now. So what do I need to do next? I need to ask the user, enter the value of the last odd number. Let's say I represent the value of the last odd number in a variable called as n. So n can be, let us say, 101. So the user enters into n the value 101. Then what I am going to do here is I am going to show you a new way to run a set of statements multiple number of times. So what I am doing is I am saying repeat while I less than or equal to n. So as long as the value of I is less than or equal to n, I am doing a set of 0 or more statements again and again. So what I am doing first, I am outputting the value of I, which is 1. Then the next odd number after 1 happens to be 3. So it is my job to increase the value of I from 1 to 3. So what do? I say I is I plus 2. So I now becomes 3. So these two statements are associated with this while and condition. This I less than or equal to n is a condition. As long as the value of I is less than or equal to n, I am going to keep outputting the value of I and I am going to increase the value of I by 2. In order to understand this particular piece, let us take a table, but let us take a smaller value of n so that we are able to finish it in a reasonable amount of time. So let's start from step number 2. I's value I have initialized or it given it as 1. I am asking you to enter the value of n. Let us say you enter the value of n as 9. Alright. Now next step what I am doing is I am repeating these two statements output I and I plus 2 as long as the value of I is less than or equal to n. See here what it's saying, repeat while. That means as long as I is less than or equal to n, I am printing the value of I as well as I am increasing the value of I by 2. So first thing what I am doing here, I am coming here and checking this condition. 1 is less than or equal to 9. Yes, it is true. I am outputting the value of I, so I am outputting 1. I is increased by 2. I becomes 3. 3 is less than or equal to 9. It is still true. So I come here. Output I output 3. Then next what do? I increase the value of I by 2 again. I becomes 5. 5 is less than or equal to 9. So I output the value of I, which happens to be 5. I increase the value of I by 2. It becomes 7. I go back here. 7 is less than or equal to 9. It is true. I output the value of I, which happens to be 7. Next step, I is I plus 2. I becomes 9. Still 9 is not exceeded 9. 9 is equal to 9. This means less than or equal to 9. So since it is less than or equal to 9, I print 9 also. Now I is from 9. It becomes 9 plus 2. It becomes 11. Once you come here 11, 11 is definitely not less than or equal to 9. So this block or this condition becomes false and I come out of the while loop. And here I am ending my algorithm. So I hope you understood how I could print odd numbers from 1 to n using this repeat while. I would advise you to print even numbers from 2 to n using this same method and just see whether you have understood it properly. Before we wind up, let me show you how the general structure for the repeat while is. So here if you see, The words repeat and while indicate that whatever follows repeat while is going to be executed again and again as long as this test condition happens to be true. So here I have two statements. When I say set of statements, the word set means zero or more statements. So here I have two statements. So these two statements are going to be repeatedly executed as long as this test condition remains true. How does the test condition remain true? If the value of I is less than or equal to n. If the value of I goes above n, then this condition becomes false and we come out of this particular loop. So take a look at this particular test condition is I less than equal to n. Zero or more statements are these two fellows, two statements. End of the while loop. So I hope you have made sense of how to print odd numbers from 1 to n.